Alright, today's video is about part 2, or who's best suited to be the next Batman. On part 1, I did watch and listen to it, and I was thrilled and interested in the way you actually introduced Batman as a person, as a hero, and it was quite amazing. And I would be taking a couple of points, however, I won't be delving too much into it because I feel like you just wrapped it up in that one video. And if you haven't seen part 1, I'll link it in the description below. Go ahead and watch part 1, who's best suited to be the next Batman, and then you can come and jump in on part 2 so you can be in the same page with us and understand our moral views. And if you have something that you also wanted to add, please also add it in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get to it. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! The views and opinions expressed in these videos are our own and do not reflect on the official DC character roles or the upcoming Batman movie series. Yeah. Welcome everyone to Kel and Ketsi Universe. Again with the series, but this time we'll be covering Batman, our main vigilante slash superhero. Please stay tuned to the end of the video because we have a bonus that we want to introduce and would like to hear your views. Batman. What's Batman, or who's Batman? You know, I feel like everybody knows Batman because he's a huge superhero in the DC world. You know, he was first created or introduced as the creature of the night. Batman appears during the nightly hours of Gotham City, when the crime is as high as it could possibly be and there isn't enough manpower to actually enforce the law. During the day, Batman is actually Bruce Wayne. We know Bruce Wayne is Batman, Batman is Bruce Wayne. But during the day, Batman is Bruce Wayne running Wayne Enterprises. He's an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. Batman's weaknesses can also be interpreted as Batman's strength, right? Because Batman's weakness number 1 is the moral code, no killing. The foundation of his pillar, right? And Batman's great weakness number 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you may count it, is humanity, right? He is human. He's just like me and you. We're vulnerable and we suffer from moralities and things like that, right? So those, for me, are Batman's weaknesses, and they can also be interpreted as his strength. What is Batman's strength? Well, for one, that is well known is his super strength and durability and absolute knowledge, as well as being versatile in combat and in his strategies and detective work, right? Because Batman is not just a vigilante running around just attacking criminals. He's actually a detective in disguise, and he's doing officers' work while putting bad guys away. Now, here comes the reason why I chose Thomas Welling to be the next Batman. Look, there are things that I want to point out, and I'm not gonna say anything outside acting. Okay, everybody can do Batman, and I pretty much believe good actors can be good Batmans. I mean, we can have a lot of good Batmans out there, but I'm choosing Thomas Welling. One, Thomas has been part of the superhero franchise for quite some time. If you know him, I definitely recommend the Smallville series. If you have watched it before, you definitely have seen his acting there, and him dealing with superhero comics, what I say, or role that actually had to deal with being a hero, kind of puts him in a good spot for him to actually take a new role as Batman. On top of that, Thomas actually had acted in one of the upcoming Netflix series, Lucifer. He played Marcus Pierce, which was actually a detective, not a detective, sorry, a police lieutenant, right, in the whole series. So already we have 2 perks that can make him into a Batman. We already have the perk of superhero, which he played Superman in the Smallville series, and was brilliant, and I loved it. And then we also have the role where he was featured in the Lucifer series, where he actually played the lieutenant. Aside from that, Thomas also has a lot of things, in his way, right? I mean, he has that charisma. Don't get me wrong, he does got that charisma and that charm too. You know what I'm saying? He could definitely play the Bruce Wayne role. Even though in the whole series of Batman, Bruce Wayne is barely introduced. We only know it from a few scenes in the series, because majority of the series focuses on the night of Gotham. I choose Thomas based on these perks alone. I mean, one, he has been part of the superhero franchise. I mean, the heroes, the moral code, the strengths, the fights, and everything. He's been there, and he's also played the detective role, even though it may not be a detective specifically, but he did play a role in somewhat law enforcement, being a police lieutenant and solving crimes and so forth, and also being a big baddie, because even in the whole Lucifer series, we later got introduced to him being the bad guy, which we didn't expect, because I mean, he was a good lieutenant, and then bam, oh no, the lieutenant turns out to be a bad guy. He actually played that role quite well, because he was a detective and we didn't suspect anything up until the latest episodes of the series, when it was starting to reveal bits and bits of information about him being the big bad guy. I do recommend Thomas Williams to actually be given a role in the DC world, to actually be given the Batman role in the DC world. I mean, I would love to see how will he take this Batman role. And keep in mind, they had to deal with a lot of similar things. They had big arch nemesis. Batman had the Joker, Superman had Luthor, right? And in each of them, they had to deal with not killing them and actually try to save them from being evil. So from that alone, I can definitely see him being part of the whole DC world and actually being introduced as Batman. I'd like to thank people who subscribed on a previous video and also left us their comments. It was quite nice to interact with a few of you guys, and I would hope to see more out of that. Since you've been with us till this point in the video, I'd like to introduce our bonus. This video will be based on an interesting idea of God of War movie. If there were to be a God of War movie, who would you like to see playing the role of Kratos and the other gods in this movie? Kindly leave it in the comments below and give us at least 20 likes in this video. We will start working on the video. I know, guys, we can do this, so kindly hit the like button and let's start working on the God of War new roles and theories and everything alike. But if you like this video, kindly leave everything in the comments below. We'd like to interact with you and hear your points and views. And if you like our content, you can also join our Facebook and check out the new posts that we do introduce every now and then.